Everyone, hope everyone's doing well. Happy Monday. I want to thank everybody for coming this morning. I think this is a really important opportunity for all of us to be together. It's awesome that we have reading teachers this morning, EL teachers this morning, special ed teachers, and speech pathologists all in the same room this morning, learning together to really help figure out how to deliver some consistent and compatible instruction no matter what your specialty is, no matter if you're coming at it from a speech path or a special ed or an EL instructor. And I think our emergent readers, there's so much going on with them. They are trying to put all of the pieces together, and I think that the assisted writing approach to instruction is probably one of the most powerful options for them to set before them so that they can figure out how all these pieces do work, how oral language development works with all their knowledge about letters and letter sounds and phonemic awareness, how that all integrates together. So you guys should all have a packet of materials in front of you. And I'm going to turn this over to Connie and Sam in just a minute here. I know that you are in fabulous hands, and I know I'm going to speak for them, but I know that during the course of the morning, if you have any sorts of questions or ponderments as you're putting all the pieces together and thinking about the kids that you're going to go back and work with this on, please make sure that you reach out and ask a question or a clarification, okay? So I'm going to turn it over to Connie.
So our video teacher today, smile. That was a really fun thing to think about happening first thing on a Monday morning. But we really felt like we so often will be sitting around the table thinking about our emergent readers, and we'll say, oh, this would be a great kid for an assisted writing approach. And then we thought, wow, that not everybody has had PD on this or has had practice with this, so we thought this would be a great time to get a large core of us together to talk about what this approach is, and then videotape it so that as we get new people coming on board who need to learn about assisted writing as they work with emergent readers, that we'd be able to share this with them in the future. So, everybody smile. So, assisted writing. I know a lot of you have had experience with this. Some of you might have had just a little bit. Some might have had a lot. Some might not have had any. So, I know you're probably sitting at a table with at least a few people who've been doing this in the trenches, and we're so grateful for that because we're hoping that near the end of our session today, you'll have an opportunity to do some planning ahead for any groups that you might already be working with, or to turn and talk to some people who've already been doing it and pick their brains a little bit about what they found to be useful and helpful as they've done these kinds of groups. So one of the things we all get really good at when you work with those emergent readers is we get good at... So take a stab at this. What do you think this says? Okay, so let's see, I'm hearing some people saying fungus. That was what I thought when I read it. I'm like, what a cool science unit they must be doing in kindergarten. Fun games. It is fun games. It could be fun games, too. So as we were struggling to put that message together, I think it really is a good reminder for us of sort of the big picture. Kids can help us think about that, of what this is all about and why we do this work. Mari Clay has this definition, which I think is a really simple definition of a really complex process. And she simply says that reading is a message-getting, problem-solving activity, which is what we were just trying to do, get that message from that child, and solve those problems about what those words were in front of us and figure them out. And writing is a message-sending, problem-solving activity. And so it's such a great opportunity when you've got kids who are really trying to just gel that literacy processing system to be able to work in writing, because it's such a beautifully reciprocal process. As they learn about it in writing, it can help them with your reading. And this is another really wonderful quote from Carol Lyons with Teaching Struggling Readers, that writing forces everything to slow down. And so when you've got kids who are confused about putting together a literacy process, the movement facilitates them being able to do that better. we were talking around the table one day and we were like, is it assisted writing, interactive writing, writing aloud? You've probably heard these terms quite a bit, and we thought we'd start off with saying the term that we're going to be using today. Assisted writing is really the umbrella term, and under that can go interactive writing and writing aloud. Writing aloud would be the process that you would use more in a writer's workshop, where you're writing in front of kids. The teacher is in control of the pen and doing the work as they're helping to compose it. But what we're talking about today, we will be calling assisted writing throughout. It really is also interactive writing. So if you've been reading some things about interactive writing, you'll find that they will fit beautifully with our term of assisted writing. But assisted writing is what, as a district, we've kind of decided to call this type of approach. You've got the PowerPoint handout there, but this talks about all of the things that assisted writing enables students to do. And when you think about the students and the profiles we look at of kids who could benefit from this, these are all the kinds of things that they really need to work on. Get those foundational concepts about print, understand that writing is really all about communicating a message, apply rereading so that they can predict and monitor meaning. You know, when they're writing along and you want them to, they get stuck, they don't remember what word they wanted to put next, we might prompt them, go ahead and read it again and think about what makes sense. Well, that's the same thing we tell them in reading many times. So it works really well to have them work on this process in writing. Articulate words slowly and hear and record the letters in words. Use simple resources as self-help tools, and we've got a whole bunch of those we can show you today. Become fluent with correct letter formation. Build a core of high-frequency words. And cross-check multiple sources of information. So they're thinking about, well, how does that look, and what would make sense, and what would sound right. So our goals for today are to share this common model of instruction, and here in our district, we're often thinking about this as a tool we use mostly with kindergartners who are not yet independent readers at a level 2 at this point in the school year. We'll share some resources for instruction. And many of our slides come directly from a Reading Recovery Conference presentation that was by Jennifer Linehan in Illinois. And they are also a district that does quite a bit of work with assisted writing as one of the many ways that they work with students in small groups. And so many of us saw that. Raise your hand if you were at the Reading Recovery Conference and saw this presentation. Just a few. Oh, okay. Good. Well, this will be new for us. This resource should be in most of the schools, certainly with the reading specialists in the schools, Interventions That Work by Linda Dorn. But here's an important thing that we've thought about. We really are not thinking about assisted writing as an intervention per se. We're really thinking about it as a method of instruction that's highly useful for emergent readers during this phase of their development. So in other words, this method of instruction could be done by classroom teachers, it can be done by reading specialists if we're pushing in. And the ideal thing at this time of year is when we can get some support into those kindergarten classrooms that gives the teacher time to work with small groups while you're in there as well. So we're really not going to be phrasing this as particularly an intervention, but simply the method of instruction that is really important for these kids at this phase in their development. So we've talked about it slows down the process, and we've also talked about how it's really working with the 3 language systems, especially composing of ideas, expression of ideas, and both the orthographic, how words look, and the phonological, how words sound. And then there certainly are some really nice connections there between this and the Common Core State Standards Foundation standards. So where would we begin? Well, as a district, we've got quite a bit of assessment that we can use to look at and think about what our kids need, this little group that's in front of us. Certainly on the ISO, when we see students who are below on alphabet recognition, on phonemic awareness, on the one-to-one matching, on the letter sounds, on the developmental spelling, those are students that we might think would be a good fit for this kind of work at this point in time. We've also got writing samples. I mean, they're doing lots of writing in their classrooms, so being able to cozy up to that classroom teacher and say, can I see a few writing samples from these students so I can get a sense of what they might be using and what they might be using yet confusing. And then we've got the DRAs as well, so that we can look at those and see what are they understanding about print. Do they have the one-to-one match? Are they understanding return sweep? That kind of work. Okay. Hi everyone, I'm Samantha Richardson. I am a literacy coach in pre-K as well as in kindergarten, and am this year working at Washington, and I will be showing a video of myself teaching an assisted writing lesson to 4 students, 3 boys, 1 girl, and they are reading at either an A or a level 1. These are authentic students. The actors that I tried to hire for that day couldn't show up, so you will see some squirreling, and it'll be interesting. Let's see. I collaborate with this teacher closely, so the poem that you're going to see me introduce to these children has already been previewed. They've already seen it with their teacher, and I will walk through the process, and I use the Interventions That Work model from Linda Dorn, and I will walk through what I actually do with these students after. And there are some things that you will see that you may maybe disagree with or may have a different opinion of, and I will explain why I made certain moves after the video. So here we go with this live lesson. Again.
Good morning,
Good morning, Miss Richardson. Do you have gum in your mouth? You know what, let's spit that out. There we go. Thank you. All right, remember, let's go over our rules before we get started. Remember, our 2 rules, we only have 2, is that our eyes are looking and our body still. Jack is doing such a nice job of showing me that his body is still and his eyes are looking. So is Diego. Yesterday, I know that Miss Stummy read this poem to you, and we are going to be doing the same poem together here. Ready? We're going to start with the title. This is a word you know. I love chocolate. I love chocolate. Yum, yum, yum. I love chocolate in my tum. Let's do it together again, and I want everyone. You did. I want everyone to help me as I read it one more time. Ready? Eyes up here. Eyes looking. Nice job, Diego. Ready? I love chocolate. I love chocolate. Yum, yum, yum. I love chocolate in my tum. What is a tum?
Tummy.
Yeah, it's short for tummy.
Your stomach.
Now, what does the little boy in this poem tell us that he loves?
Chocolate.
Yeah,
I
he does.
chocolate.
He does love chocolate. So do
I love chocolate. Actually, I like
You
sweets.
don't like chocolate?
I like
All right,
sweets.
listen. I am going to read part of the poem. I want you to find a word that starts like leaf on your alphabet chart. Find that word leaf. Everyone's pointing to it. Layla's pointing to it. Okay, ready? I'm going to read this first part. I love chocolate. What word starts like leaf in I love chocolate? Ooh, Layla's thinking for the ooh.
Oh.
Let's look up here. What word starts like leaf when we say it? I love chocolate. Watch me. When I say I love chocolate, I hear love. Love. Can everyone say love?
Love.
Everybody say leaf.
Leaf.
Leaf. Everybody say leaf.
Leaf.
Diego, I'm waiting for you to say leaf.
Leaf.
All right, let's try it again. Everyone say love.
Love.
Everybody say leaf.
Leaf.
What is the same in both of those words?
They have L.
They start with L. You are so right. All right, let's get ready to do our ABC chart. Get your finger up underneath of that. Apple. Oh, good. Apple, apple, bear, bear,
Cat.
yo, yo, yeah, yeah, yeah. Zipper, zipper, It's just to the side right there. That's fine. And we are going to be getting our magnet boards.
Oh.
Remember, when we get our magnet boards and our erasers, our markers, we're not going to be getting those yet.
Socks.
But and your socks, you're going to get those in a minute. But first, I'm going to be giving you a bag with some letters in it.
watch me. What you're going to do is you're going to take the letters out of your bag. You're going to put them on the top of your board. And then you're going to put your bag behind it. Okay? Are you ready? Okay. There you go, at the top of your board.
Get them out.
I'll help you, Diego.
Actually, I did.
Good.
I know.
Layla did a nice job of following the directions. Let's see if Jack can do it. She put them at the top of her board. Let's turn them around so that we can just... Now, I want you to watch me. I'm going to pull it down letter by letter. M, Y, and then I'm going to push it up letter by letter. M, Y. Okay? You do that on your board.
M-Y.
Good. Push it up letter by letter.
M-Y. M-Y.
Good. All right. Now what we're going to do is I am going to make a word on the board, on my board that you know. You know this word. My.
Mine.
Can you make that with your letters in the middle of your board? Bring it down to the middle of your board. M, Y. You made the word my. What word did you make?
Mine.
My. Jack, what word did you make?
Y.
Put your finger under that first letter.
Mine.
My. What word did you make, Diego? Check your model.
My.
Good. Does it look like that?
Yep.
Nice job fixing yourself. All right, Malik. Does that look right? Okay, watch. Now we're going to run our finger underneath of it and check it. Watch me. I'm going to put that dry erase marker underneath of yours. Watch this. And I'm going to erase it, remember? And I'm going to do a slow check. My. Ready? Your M goes first. Check that. Does the M go first? I know I did. I erased my Y. Check it. Was I right? Okay, is the M first? Okay, you're going to do that with yours. Okay, run your finger underneath of it. Check it. My. Good. All right, Jack, you ready? You're going to slow check your word. Okay, go for it.
My.
Good. All right, you're going to slow check your word. My. Ready? Check it.
Just a minute. Oops.
That's okay. You can still do it.
My.
Good. You know what? And make sure, Diego, do it again. I want you to stop right underneath of that Y. So watch me. My. You do it. My. Nice slow check. All right.
Go.
Ready? Watch me. Let's watch Malik do it. Okay, erase it, starting with that first letter. Start over here. My. Would you like to do it again by yourself? Okay. All right. Now I want you to take your letters and I want you to mix it up, and then I want you to fix it, making that word my again.
I mixed it up.
Okay, now make that word my. Make it look like this one. Jack did it. Layla, make sure you have it in the right order. Order matters.
I did it.
Does it look right? Malik's looks right. Let's look at Diego's. Let's see what should be first. Nice job fixing it. Okay, mix it again real fast.
I fixed it first.
You fixed it? Good.
I
Let's see.
fixed it.
Let's see, Layla, did you fix it?
I fixed it.
Okay, what word did you make? This is the word my. What word did you make?
Mine.
What word did you make, Jack?
Mine.
Good. What word did you make, Diego?
Mine.
And what word did you make, Malik? Good. All right. I want you to take your magnet letters and put them back in your bag. Oh.
Oh, yeah. Can you
Okay.
write mine?
We are going to write that word my. So first I'm going to show you how to write it. Because the Y is going to be a little tricky for some of us. Jack, can I have the bag?
It's not gonna be tricky for me.
It's not? All right, ready? Watch. I'm going to write the word my on my board. Thanks, Layla, for your help. Eyes up here so you can make sure that you see how to make that word my. Diego, eyes up here. Ready? Watch me. I'm going to do my M. Pull down, up, over, up, over. Ready? And then, that is the M. And then I'm going to do the Y. And Layla, you're lucky. You have the Y in your name. Watch me. It's going to be slant down, Ready? Everyone's gonna get their markers. Remember to put your cap, stick it tightly on the back. Make sure it's in there. And you're gonna do the word my. I like how Jack started with his pull down, up, over, slant down, slant back. Good job. Slant down, slant back.
I did it.
Good. All right, erase your boards and do it
That's
again.
not how you do it, Layla.
That's how she does it. You do it differently than she does.
Yes, I did.
Erase it quickly. Let's see if we can do it again. Let's get that word my written down. What word are we writing? My. Ready? Start up at the top. Here, let's do it
I
together.
didn't erase mine.
Okay, hurry up, Diego. Start up at the top. Look over here. Layla, look at your board. Pull down, up, over, up, over. Now you can do your Y.
I'm done.
Good.
Look at me.
Look at you, how many you wrote. I wrote the word my. What word did I write?
My.
Okay, caps back on your markers. Don't erase it yet. Now we're gonna slow check it. Your cap? I got it. All right.
I put a line for slow
Watch me.
checking.
You did put your line for a slow check. You don't need a line though. Watch me. I'm going to do it without my line. My. You slow check one of your my's. Just check one of them. You have a lot on there, Jack. Good. You stopped at the end of your word. Nice job. Okay. Ready? Erase your boards.
I race fast. I went. Skokie. You race faster than you. No, I race faster than you.
Oh, there's not a race. Can I have your marker?
No, we're not doing a race.
Can I have your marker, Jack? Marker, Jack.
Where's my room?
Erase
my
boards.
sock. My stinky sock.
They're actually clean. Can I have the two whiteboards that are down there? Your whiteboards?
And the work charts. Oh, hey, Pamela.
Okay, remember we're not doing that. Okay, now we are going to write the word my in our dictionary because that's a word. Let's see, whose dictionary am I going to be using today? This is Malik's. Now, my. What letter does a my start with? M is the first letter in my. Let's open up and see. Does my come at the beginning of the alphabet?
No.
No, I don't see M there. Is it in the middle of the alphabet?
Yes.
Is it at the end of the alphabet?
No.
No. M is in the middle of the alphabet. You can see that I've written the word my there. You're going to take your dry erase or the highlighter and you're going to trace over it. And you're going to write my. Start up at the top, pull down, up, over, slant in, slant back. What word are you writing in your my? Good. What word are you writing, Diego?
My.
Yeah. Can you sit up for me, buddy? Layla, what word are you writing?
My.
Good. And Jack, what word are you writing?
My.
Good. Nice job. Malik is doing such a nice job of taking his time to write the word my. Pull down, up, over. And slant, slant. Good. Cap back on your marker. Cap back on your marker once you're done.
It's called a highlighter.
Oh, you know what? We're not coloring in the moon. You're tracing over my. Okay. Do you see the word my? Good. Can you do that? Pull down, up, over.
Look it.
Diego did it. Layla did it. Nice job. Close up
Nobody
your
did it.
close up your dictionaries.
Yes, everybody did it.
Okay. Thank you.
Pay you for the nose job.
Okay.
Two people.
All right. Eyes are looking. Nice job. Before we head off today, I want someone to come up
Oh,
and I see a word, a new word that you now know in our poem that's on our last line. Can someone, Layla, can you come up for me and find that word my in that last, yep. And now we're going to put this highlighter tape on that first letter in my. Can you show me? Point to the first letter in my. What's the first letter?
Y.
What's the, point to just the first letter. The first letter is M. Good. What's that letter?
M.
Good. Watch me. I'm just going to put a little highlighter tape on that letter M. It's the first letter. Okay. Ready? All right. Jack, come on up. What?
Everybody can come up. Yeah. Why are we keeping stop?
Oh, do you think I should put it on that?
I see
Because we
it,
had,
I see
you
it.
do? Oh, where do you see it?
I see none. You see it.
Okay. All right. I want you to find a word on this line that has 4 letters in it. Did you find it? This word is love. What word is it?
Love.
Good. Can you point to the first letter in love? It starts like
L.
leaf. It is. Can you put this tape on that first letter?
It's L.
Okay. All right. Diego, coming up.
I can get out special ways.
No, I want you to push the chair back so you can get up. Can you do that or do you need help?
I can do.
Okay, come on over.
You know what?
Come on over.
Stop it. You know what?
Remember, we need our eyes looking and our bodies still. I saw it. You're okay. All right, look at this last line. I want you to find a word that has 3 letters in it. Find it.
1, 2, 3.
This word is tum. Can you say tum?
Tum.
Can you point to the first letter in tum? What's the first letter?
T.
Good. And T makes the T sound like in turtle on our alphabet chart, right? Okay, Malik, you're my last friend who's going to come up.
Or
Malik, can you come up for me?
or
You can come this way.
Or toad.
Or toad. You're right, toad and turtle and tum. I'll start with the sun. Over this way, Malik. Come this way. Come. Oh, you're going that way. Yes.
One day I want to use those chairs
You want to use what chairs? Oh, those swivelly chairs?
so we can go really high.
I want you on this line.
Not too high.
Can you find the period? Everyone, eyes are looking at Malik.
Just
Malik, we have to wait. Diego, you know what? Don't worry about pulling it in.
I just want to get
Diego.
Well, I don't want to feel period of time.
Can you find, thank you for your bodies being still. Layla, we're almost done, so don't worry about pulling in your chair. Just make sure your eyes are looking. Can you find the period on this line? The period is the little dot. Can you point to it and then we can put the tape on it? Or do you want to put the tape on it? That's actually called a comma. That's a little bit different than the period, which is a dot. Can you find the period? It's at the end of the sentence. I see it right there. Do you see it right there? Yep, there you go. Put it on top. The period is at the end of the sentence to tell us that our sentence, I love chocolate, yum, 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 is all done, done, done.
Okay, so that was day 1. And for those of you that have done interactive writing before, you've probably done a lot of these similar things, but you may do something different. But hopefully you picked up something new that you haven't possibly seen before to incorporate. The next thing that we're going to talk about is, here's just a list that's in your handout of some of the materials to gather, what the teacher will need, and then what the student will need. So you guys can go over that. A lot of it you probably are aware of already. So routines and procedures, and again, this is common sense for a lot of us, but really going over how you want them to use the materials, how you want them to act during the assisted writing portion of your lesson. For instance, you saw me doing a slow check, and that I was doing that multiple times over and over and over again. That was brand new for them. So I really wanted to make sure that they were doing it exactly how I wanted them to do it, where they ran their finger underneath of it and they made sure to stop at that Y. Not a sloppy check, but it had to be really tight. So where do you want them to look during the shared reading? How do you want them to get out the magnetic letters, and how do you want them to put it away? Let's see, what else? Where do you want them to write on the whiteboards?
in the conference that we went to, the woman from Pekin talked about teaching children to use the middle of the whiteboard as opposed to the top or the bottom to really help with letter formation. So if they're writing the word big at the bottom of the whiteboard, they have to shift that G up, so it doesn't really help them with that orientation of where letters should be. So she really focused on helping them to write in the middle of the board. And then how do you want them to practice the ABC chart, which I will go over. You'll notice that I did it differently than some of you might do it, and I'll explain why. And so for phase 1, day 1, here are the procedures that I went through. We reread the familiar text, we did some phonological awareness, we read the ABC chart, we did letter or word work with that word my, the personal dictionary, which I actually have some examples to show you. And I did not do an introduction to a new text because this had already been introduced by the teacher. But if you're not in close collaboration with your classroom teacher, you might have to introduce a new text, which you might be able to embed at the end, but since the intervention is so short, it might be that you're introducing the new text at the beginning of the lesson. I know in those 20 minutes it just would have been impossible, whether I was collaborating closely with the teacher or not, to introduce a new text at the end, because we had gone 20 minutes and as you could see they were already checking out. Yeah, they were done. So for the rereading of the familiar text, the goal is to make sure that I'm reading with fluency and that they are chiming in when they can. Discussing the text after reading. So you'll notice that I asked them, what is a tum? That was something that obviously I know, but they might not know. It's a little bit different than tummy. So I went over that with them. And then use the text to help develop the phonological awareness, and looking at words in the poem, and then looking at word analysis. So here are some suggested resources for finding poetry, and actually in your folder I typed up some of the more simple poems that I found in Sing a Song of Poetry. If you want, I can also email them to you, and this is what I actually use I use Sing a Song of Poetry, and I email Sarah the poem that I'm going to work on for that week, and then she also does it with her whole group and puts it on a large chart paper, and then those can also go into a student's, in our classroom or in Sarah's classroom, they have a songs poetry book, so we just glue it in there so that during their independent reading time they can read those poems. And then for Spanish, the one that I thought of was Cancioneros. I don't know if there's anything else in Spanish out there that has simple poems, but that was the one that I thought of. So for the phonological and phonemic awareness, as you saw when we did this in the group, this was something that was a little challenging for them. This was the first time that we had done it with the procedures like this. This was actually taken directly from Dorn. I kept it oral. I was going to focus, I almost made a switch to focus on the print, but I really wanted them to focus on hearing, so I didn't connect it to the print, which was new for them. So when I said find the word on your chart that starts like leaf, they were able to find that. But then when I read the sentence orally, I noticed that they had a hard time deciphering. It was almost as if, I'm not sure if they understand word boundaries orally, so that was something new for them possibly. So I really had to scaffold it back and really feed them. When I say I love chocolate, I hear love, and that's when you saw me actually modeling it for them. Say leaf, say love, and then I had to get them back together to really do it with me because they were not at first. And then the next thing is the shared reading of the ABC chart. I use the alphabet chart that was used by the classroom teacher. I really try to connect with whatever the classroom teacher is using so that there's a consistent message being delivered. In Linda Dorn's Interventions That Work book, she talks about saying the name of the letter, so saying A, and then apple, which we had talked about. I actually talked to the woman at the conference. I'm blanking on her name right now, but Lena Han. And I asked her that question because I've gone into a bunch of different classrooms and teachers do it all different sorts of ways. Her idea was that it should be rapid recognition of the letter followed by the picture. With that said, I tried to go into the classroom and actually do it that way with A, apple, and afterwards she actually stopped me, and we have a very good relationship, and she said, you know, we've been doing it apple, apple, and she had this belief that, and she really felt strongly about it, that in order to understand the letter, the visual feature of the letter, they really had to associate with the picture first. So, that said, there was a little bit of a discrepancy, but I really wanted the children to be getting the consistent message, so I went ahead and just followed with what she was doing. But in another setting, I would do it the other way, where I said A, apple. You can read it in a variety of ways. You can read it vertically, you can read just the consonants, and actually I used highlighter tape on the alphabet charts to highlight the vowels as well. So for the phonics and letter work, you can see that when we worked on this, we really worked on that word my in many different ways. I went over the verbal paths. We used magnetic letters. I really focused on building the word with magnetic letters. And what I need to improve a little bit upon in that video or in my lesson is really making sure that when they're pulling down the magnetic letters and pushing them up, it obviously has to be in the right order. We had one little guy that it was out of order. But pulling down the M first and then the Y, and then going back and pushing the M up first and then the Y, because order matters, and you're trying to really help them learn serial order from attending from left to right.
So in this one here, we're all seeing these verbal pathways for letter formation charts. I'll just hold it. And we really want to be consistent with whatever the classroom teacher is using as a verbal pathway for the child. And that tends to be something that we might sort of say, oh, well, is it a big deal as long as they're making the letters? But when you think about it, for kids who are really trying to learn this letter and how it looks, we're giving them 3 different ways to remember that letter every time we practice with them the verbal pathway. How it looks, how it feels to write it, so the motor works, and then what I say when I write it, that verbal pathway that I speak is my auditory link to remembering it. So it also helps focus on a consistent sequence when forming the letter, because that way it helps clear up directionality confusions. If we're trying to figure out little kids a B versus a D, well, if we make the stick first for the B consistently, that will help us to remember what a B looks like versus what a D looks like, going from left to right. You should have in your handout the verbal pathway chart. That would give you some of the common directionality phrases that we've used as we have kids form those letters. But I know some classrooms, teachers use that magic C prompt as well. And the biggest thing is we want the kids to have something consistent.
And we did provide the language prompts from Linda Dorn in English and in Spanish, so they're there for you, which you've probably seen before, but if not, they're there for you.
Yeah. So you could see in that little snippet that we watched, there was a lot of work with words that she was doing there. How words work, encourage a fluent writing of the high frequency words. That my was certainly one that they were well on their way to owning by the time they left, but we certainly know they would need some review of that. Explicitly teaching the directionality, as she did, not only directionality of the letters, but the serial order. Best always to start with a partially known word, so that word my they'd seen multiple times, and particularly in the poem that they had used in their classroom, so it wasn't just a word she picked out of the air. It also gives us a great opportunity to reinforce those partially known kindergarten word wall words. And in your handout as well is a copy of those kindergarten word wall words with the weeks, so that you can see where your kindergarten group should be and what they've been exposed to in terms of kindergarten words. And explicitly link the reading and writing of those words. As you saw how many times she worked with it in writing, they went right back to finding it in reading, and then practiced reading it in context as well. And as we said, it would always be great to do something like, if we're writing the word my, let's say, can you make up a sentence with my? I want to go to my, and have the kids all take a turn using that word my in context, so it becomes more than just an abstract sequence of letters that they put there, but it's something that they're going to use.
So the next part was the dictionary, and what I did was just a card that they're using in their classroom,
the...
I just cut out the objects and the pictures and just put them on the sheet, so there is a beginning. Can you open this for me, Wyatt? You could be my Vanna. And here's the middle, and then the end. And what I do is the word that we're working on, I quickly just write in pencil, and then they go over it in highlighter. And the reason that we do that is so that when they go to use this for their own writing, that it's neat and they can actually read it, because we know with their fine motor, some of them are writing very, very large. Yeah. So this might happen at the end of your lesson if you're able to introduce a new text, but this might happen at the beginning. But we found that it's really best to use poems right now because they're very simple, or big books. Find texts that have repetition in them, and also trying to embed some nonfiction as well. So during the reading, there are some other things that you can do, and we talked about this before, but reading the text with fluency and prosody. Encourage the students to read the repetitive places. And then this is actually Tracy Pitlash is doing the same poem as well. And this is her manipulating the poem. So instead of I love chocolate, she had them do I love pizza, yum, yum, yum. I love pizza in my tum. I know it doesn't say pizza. But she also did I love apples, yum, yum, yum. And I love, yum, yum, yum. I love apples in my tum. And then after the reading, what we talked about before is really talking about the meaning of the poem first. So what is a tum? Very simple. And then reinforcing concept about print. In your folder, I typed up this list. Now this isn't all of the concepts of print you might be able to tackle, but these are just a nice, clean list for you. Show me the picture, show me the words, where do I start reading, which way do I go, a capital, a lowercase, short word, long word, short, a letter you know, a word that you know, so on and so forth. So phase 2, day 2, you're going to set a purpose for writing, so you'll reread the poem that you had the day before, and then this is when you're going to be doing that interactive or assisted writing with the children. So prompt the students in conversation to negotiate a group message, rehearse the group message, and it's usually a message at this point that you've kind of created already, and you try to really connect with the language from the poem. Record the group message, sharing the pen, so this is the message that we wrote the next day, which you will get to see us do together, and then reflect on the message using a checklist. So all of this you will be seeing in the video. So this is going to be phase 2, day 2. Again, the children actors that I tried to hire didn't show up, so they are actually a little bit more silly today than they were the day before, and you'll see some classroom management in this video as well. So enjoy.
So you can see there's an awful lot that happens in that short amount of time, and there's a lot that, as proficient readers and writers, we're sitting there going, oh, wow. But that's the stuff that we can't take for granted, that they all have. So we need to be super explicit. I'd like to ask you guys just to turn and talk for 2 minutes with people at your table. Now you've seen both phase 1 and phase 2, reactions, questions, thoughts, but chat for just about 2 minutes, and we'll come back together.
Okay, I hear a lot of good conversation going on, and I know that there are some questions. Can we wrap up our conversations? I know that people have some questions, and we're not going to ask that you ask them right now, but at the end, there will be some time where you'll be planning, and if you have a question that you want to come up and ask me or Connie, we are definitely here. At the end of the video, you did see that I snapped my head to Malik and told him that he wouldn't be able to watch the video. I actually had edited a lot of the video where he was just kind of pushing my buttons. So it may have seemed a little abrupt, but it really wasn't. I think I had taken away most of his materials throughout the video. And I also noticed that Diego is probably the most fidgety out of all of them. I just realized I called attention to him a lot. So you learn a lot watching yourself in videos. And I also said ready about 5,000 times. So things you learn as you're watching yourselves is pretty interesting. I encourage you to do it. Oh, thank you. So in your folder, there is a lesson planning template. This is from Linda Dorn's Interventions That Work book. This is a newer version. I'm not sure exactly, I can't remember what's different on it. It might be the dictionary piece, but this is not in her book. This is the newer version. That one's, you can look and see if there's something different, but I think there's a variation to it. But you'll see this is the lesson plan. There's a lesson plan that I did, and then there's a blank one for you to use as well. There's also, you don't have to use this template on First Class and in the blue guided reading folder that I know some of the reading teachers here worked on a couple of years ago. There is a pre-A guided writing and then a guided reading lesson. It's the same thing, a little bit different, and pulls in some different activities. So you guys decide what it is that you would like to use. But you will see how I planned for instruction, but then I also noticed that more modeling of the beginning sound and connecting to the ABC chart is needed. They were really, my focus was on the slow check. I think that they really got that. I had done it a bunch of times with them that day, so I hope they got it. And then I didn't do an introduction to a new text because it wasn't necessary and time didn't allow for it. But then on day 2, again, you can see that I added up at the top, quickly write the word my from yesterday. I think that's so important for the kids to see that they're seeing it again, multiple times, and just being extremely explicit and intentional with it. I had my conversation plan, and then I had a sentence pre-planned out, but you can see that they changed tum to tummy, so I honored that, and then I just added in pizza, and I was really focusing, and you saw it in the video, rereading to remember what's going to come next. So that was my big focus for that day. And then you can see on the right-hand side the words that I focused on, and then the words that I just decided I was just going to write just because of time, and they were getting extremely fidgety towards the end. So rehearsing the message, as you saw, what I did is that I said the message twice, then I had them read it with me. We counted the words. I even included a little bit of math, counting on, instead of counting one by one. No, this is 5, add one more. And again, really trying to connect with that language that they've seen in the actual text. So from that shared poem, I really tried to connect my sentence back to what they had already read. So they're not only reading it, but they're writing it, and so on and so forth. So recording the message, you just record all the parts of the message with the students. You may share the pen. This was my first time sharing the pen with the students, but making sure that the other students that are sitting at the table have something to do while that child is coming up. So that was a word that they knew, it was excellent. They could write it quickly on their board. And then be specific about what you want them to practice and how you expect them to practice on their whiteboard. So again, I was trying to get them to use the middle of that whiteboard. So when we're recording the message, a lot of this is going to happen in the moment. But you can also pre-plan before. I knew that word my was going to come up. I knew that was a word that we had worked on multiple times. They should be able to write it. But then also really focusing for me right now, it's having them practice that first part of the word, because I really want them to understand securely what the first part of the word means. So practicing those letters was really important to me, and connecting to the alphabet chart again. So reflecting on the message, I forgot to do this that day. It's in Interventions That Work. This is a writing checklist that talks about not only concepts of print or where do I start and which way do I go, but also using strategies like did I reread to help me. And right now this is our writing checklist. We just started, and actually this is the same writing checklist that's being used in the classroom. So again, that consistency, it's on the same colored sheet of paper, so they're seeing it in multiple places. I just encourage you, if possible, just to connect with whatever the classroom teacher is using, especially for our kids that are struggling the most. They really need that consistent message. So for the writing checklist, I just have these 3 things that they will then, this was me modeling it, but eventually when they're going to be writing on their own, for the writing checklist, I use my best handwriting, I use spaces between my words, and then I end my sentence with a period, question mark, or exclamation point. But you can see the writing checklist on the list has about 10 bullets. And if you want a fresh copy of it, it's in Interventions That Work, so you can find it there.
So there are if you had some extra time. Cut up sentence would be one thing, to take that sentence and put it on a big sentence strip and then cut it up with the students and have them reassemble it in a pocket chart, and then they can manipulate and take out, where's that word my? Find me a long word in that sentence. Find me a little word in that sentence. And we also talked about creating a student book with those group-generated sentences. This is now known text for them, and that's really valuable for them to practice. So she had just taken a picture of the board, so she actually had their print as well as typed it underneath so that they would be rereading print that looks like text, and had a little picture cue with it so that that way they could have that in a little basket or something that they could reread over time. I've got one here that I had done with kindergartners a while ago, and I just used one of those, you know, those report covers, and then I put them in paper, you know, the plastic covers for pages, but that way, here, I'm not clipped. You can be my Vanna. All right. So the first one was the hippopotamus has a big mouth, and we used big posters because they were doing animal studies in their classroom at the time. So we also looked at some of the print that they had in their classroom, but when we came back, we used the big posters to help us generate our own story about the hippopotamus. And one of the things we really didn't touch on much in the phonemic awareness portion of this was that idea that we want them to clap words and think about, do we hear a big word or a little word? So when we were making our decision about this, I remember us saying we could say the hippo has a big mouth, or we could say the hippopotamus has a big mouth. Let's clap those words, and you tell me which one you think will be the big word. So we clapped hippo, and we clapped hippopotamus. Which one's the big word, do you think? And do you want to use the big word in your sentence? So it's a great opportunity to get that kind of work into. But as we flip through, you'll see, I think the last one we have there, they were doing procedural texts at the time in the classroom, like how-tos, and so we made something with Fruit Loops and Cheerios and raisins, and we wrote about it. So it can be a poem, but it can also be a big book. There's some really wonderful informational texts up now in a bigger size book that you can use with kids. There's a lot of different materials. Another neat thing to be able to do with some time is to do some varied sentence structures. And so once you've got your general message and they've practiced it, transform or extend the structure of that message. Maybe another time you could say, well, what else do we like besides pizza? Could we change our sentence to talk about two things? I love pizza and salad in my tummy. So they see their sentence getting longer. I love pizza in my tummy when I go to Chuck E. Cheese, adding a phrase at the end. And then doing a movable. Tell them, when we've got this sentence, we can actually take the last part and put it to the front, and it'll mean the same thing. When I go to Chuck E. Cheese, I love pizza in my tummy. This is such a great thing to do because as we work with first grade readers, they come to that word when at the beginning of a sentence and they look at it like they've never seen it before because they're not expecting that structure. So to show them how they can manipulate their own language is really powerful. I don't love pizza in my tummy. How could we switch it? Do you love pizza in your tummy? Make a question. Or Jack said, and put in the quotation marks and all those things that they'll see in print. I love pizza in my tummy. Marks and all those things that they'll see in print. I love pizza in my tummy. So one of the things we're always thinking about is once we've done some of this work with students and we start seeing some progress, when would we know that they are probably better candidates to spend their time in small group guided reading? And this is something from the Dorn and Sophus book again, and I thought it was kind of nice to have this all down. Thinking about, well, can the student distinguish between text and illustration? Does the student have some understanding of directionality? And that would be across a line, across a word, and thinking about letters as well. Does the student have some knowledge of one-to-one matching? Does the student know the difference between letters and words? Does the student know the letters of the alphabet and a few frequently encountered words? And does the student actively participate in shared reading by predicting events and language structures that show an awareness of comprehension, rhythm, and rhyme? So it's just sort of a good checklist in our head as we're thinking about this. We don't anticipate that kids would spend their entire last half of kindergarten doing this kind of assisted writing. We would think that we'd be able to shift them to more of a small group guided reading lesson as time goes on. Okay. So we know you probably have some questions or some thoughts, and we can take a couple of minutes to talk about those, and then the rest of our time together, you can either use the template and resources you brought to plan for an upcoming assisted writing lesson. And do we have anybody who's brought things to share today that you've done assisted writing, or you've been, I know Nicole's had some experience with it, Tracy's had experience with it recently. Anybody else who's been doing some groups already? Tracy, great. Okay, thanks, Eileen. So those are people that you might go to too if you have some questions about how they've been working with that already in their buildings.
Really hard. I'm gonna try hard as I can.
Okay. All right. Good morning, boys and girls.
Good morning, Miss Richardson.
Yesterday, we learned a new word, but it may have also been a word that you have seen before. Do you remember what it is? That is the word my. Look at this. Oh, no. Ready? Watch. I just made the same word. I made the word my, but the Y's look a little different, don't
That's
they?
because it's lowercase. This
Yeah.
look a little bit weird. It's like one line this way and one line like this way.
Yeah, they're curvy, right? But this one has straight lines. We mostly see it this way, but sometimes we see it this way. And guess what, boys and girls? It's the same word. My.
And this and look, and that look like the same N.
It is the same N, you're right.
But this don't look like the same Y.
It doesn't look like the same Y, but they're both Y's, right? Ready? Watch me. I'm going to show you how to make the word my, and then you boys and girls are going to show me that you know how to write it. Ready? Watch me. Do not take your caps off yet. I will tell you when to do it. Thank you for listening, Layla. Ready? Watch. I'm going to write my, and I'm going to say it slowly. My. I hear an M at the beginning. Watch me. Pull down, up, over, up, over. Now, what letter do I need last? Right. Y. Slant in, slant out. Ready to try it? Okay, I'm going to put down my model. Take a good look. Now, you're going to write the word my. What word are you writing, Layla? What word are you writing, Jack? You can.
My.
And what word are you writing, Diego?
My.
And what word are you writing, Malik?
My.
Good. Go for it. Pull down.
I want to do this one. Can I do this one?
Yes. Okay, go. And then do your Y. Good. What word did you write, Layla?
My.
Can you slow check it for me?
My.
Good job. All right, erase your board and do it again. Try to do it a little bit faster. Good.
Like this? My. No.
Nice job checking it.
Like your herb.
And you can, where's your M?
Like me.
Good. Now run your finger underneath of it, check it.
There's mine.
Good. I love hearing you slow check it. All right, erase your boards.
I can do a slow by myself and I don't need a song.
All right, caps back on your markers.
Yes. I want to slow check it. I never want to do it. I don't want to do it either.
Okay.
I want to do it.
Let's go over our rules. Ready? Caps back on your markers. Erase your boards. Jack's ready. Good listening. Malik's ready. Put your markers down. Layla's. Yep, we're going to go over our rules. Jack remembers. Diego.
Eyes looking. Body still.
Let's start here.
Body still.
We've got to start with that first one.
Eyes looking. Eyes listening.
My turn.
Eyes listening.
Eyes looking.
Eyes looking.
Body still.
Body still.
All right, today, boys and girls, we are going to be reading our poem. But first, I see a word in the poem that we just wrote. Do you see this word down here?
My.
My. Oh my goodness, Layla. That's a word that you can read and you can write. I'm going to stop really quickly because I need to make sure that all boys and girls are ready. Markers are down, erasers are down. Diego, I need your eraser down. Okay, we're not touching it. Go ahead and put your hands in your lap, Diego, and Layla, and Malik. Good job. Thank you. That way we don't have to touch and we can look at what we're doing.
And don't
Ready?
touch under the
Are you
table.
ready to read our poem that we read yesterday? One time we're going to go through it, so let's make it our best reading ever. Ready? I love chocolate.
I don't want
I love chocolate. Yum, yum, yum. I love chocolate in my tum.
I said candy.
Can you tell me what a tum? What is a tum?
Tommy.
The tum is your
And
tummy.
you eat stuff.
Yeah, you put it in when you eat it, it goes in your tummy. Now,
Yum, yum,
the
yum.
person that wrote this poem is a little boy or girl just like you. And they are telling us something that they love. What food do they love?
Chocolate.
They do
Candy
love
cane.
chocolate.
Candy
All right,
cane.
Layla, tell me a food that you love.
I love chocolate.
You love chocolate too, so do I. What do you love, Jack?
Sweets.
You love sweets. Okay, you like all types of sweets. I'm going to tell you what I
Actually,
love.
I like
Well, I didn't get it,
chocolate
sir.
pudding.
You
And
like
I'm gonna
chocolate
have
pudding?
some only
I
ones
didn't get
today.
it.
You're going to get a turn. I love pizza.
Ooh, me too.
You do too?
With pepperoni.
With pepperoni.
Me
Layla, do you
too.
love pizza?
Yeah.
Do you love pizza, Diego?
Do you know what? My favorite ice cream is the most yummiest.
What
Yummiest.
is that?
It's called the vanilla chocolate whipped cream
Oh.
pudding.
That is so Okay, ready, Malik? What is your favorite food?
My favorite candy food is Monsters Poke Cars.
Oh, whoa, I've never heard of such a thing. But you know what we all love? We all love pizza.
Oh!
Ready? So listen to the sentence that we're going to write today. I love pizza in my...
Tommy.
Do we want to say tum or tummy?
Tommy.
You want to say tummy? Okay. I love pizza in my tummy. Ready? You're going to say that sentence again, and I'm going to count how many words there are. Ready? I love pizza in my tummy. How many words is that?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
It was 6 words. We can also say, oh, I know that this is 5, and one more is 6.
I'm 6.
You are. There
I'm
are
5.
6 words in our sentence.
I'm
So
5.
what you're going to do, listen, this is new. You are going to take your cap off the back of your marker and lay it in on top of your board. Go ahead and do that.
Do that again?
No, we're not doing that
I
again.
didn't talk about it.
Take your cap off your marker and put it on the back. Everyone's cap is on the back of their marker and they are not touching it. You will only touch your marker when I tell you to, okay?
Touching me,
We are going to be
Layla.
writing that sentence up on the board today. I love chocolate in my tummy.
brum.
I is a word that you know. It is a word that you know. You know how to read it and you know how to write it. Keep your legs to yourselves. Ready? I'm going to write the word I on the board and I am going to ask you, pick up your marker and you are going to write the word I because that's a word you know. I'm going to start up at the top, pull down, line up at the top, across, on the bottom. You write the word I. Mhm.
Hey.
Let's try that again. Here you go. Start up at the top, and I like how you're using the middle of your boards.
Ah, what?
Layla,
what
can you
did I
use the
do?
middle of your board like this? Just use that
I
middle
gotta
part.
erase. Gotta erase.
Just in the middle, not too far up and not too far down. Jack did a really nice job of writing those words I. Okay, Go ahead and erase your boards and put your markers
I
down.
want to erase my stinky socks. There's my eraser.
Markers down.
Oh.
Erasers down. Thank you. Diego, quickly. Diego. Thank you. Eraser down.
Right there, there's an eraser.
Eyes up on me. Eyes looking. Okay. Nice job. The next word we have I love. Let's say that word slowly. Love. Can you find a word on the alphabet chart that starts like love? You know that word, it does. I like, what word on your alphabet chart starts like love?
Well, your nose is running.
I've got it. Go ahead and find the word on your chart that starts like love.
I found it first.
What word starts like
I
love?
found it first. Me.
What word starts like love?
Oh.
What is the word though? The word that starts like love is leaf. It starts with what sound?
Oh.
It is the letter L. And what sound does L make? The sound that L makes is like in Layla. Ready? Watch me. Eyes up here. I need to put a space. And then I'm going to write the word love. Watch me. Say it with me slowly as I write it. Love.
Ninja E. Not a
Love.
ninja E.
I have to go back, listen to remember what I'm going to write next.
Yes.
We could do you, but we're not going to do that today. We are going to do pizza. So watch me. I have to reread my sentence to remember what is going to come next. Watch me. I need your help. Can you help me read this? I love
Chocolate. Pizza.
pizza. Everyone say pizza.
Pizza.
Layla remembers, oh my goodness.
P.
Can you find the word on your alphabet chart that starts like pizza? Ooh. Diego found it. Diego found the pig.
Me too.
Can you find the pig?
I found it.
Oh, nice job. Ready? We're going to practice writing the letter P together. But first, watch me do it. Ready? I'm going to start here. Pull down. Diego, back to the top. Around. I made the letter P. Now you're going to do it. Ready? I like how everyone waited. You're going to write the letter P. Diego wrote the letter P. Good.
I always get the
Good. Go ahead, you're going to write it.
I'm done with my up, my down, my cross, circle.
I like the start up at the top. Watch. Start up at the top, pull down, back to the top, around. Diego, write another P. And remember to use the middle of your board. So we're working on using that middle of our board. So watch me, Layla. Start up at the top, pull down, back to the top, around. You do it.
I don't want to even stop.
Nice job. Oh, I know. You're doing so many. Let's start up at the top. Start
Hey,
up at the
I
top,
want done.
pull down, back to the top, around.
I
All right,
want it
Diego,
done.
erase your boards.
I don't want to. This is fun.
Erase your board.
Okay. Hey, look. Wait.
Okay.
I'm not
When you're
looking.
ready, we can finish writing that word pizza.
Done.
Jack, you are doing such a good job of following the
Done.
directions today. Good job, Diego. Put that sock down.
Sock.
Now we're going to say the word pizza slowly.
Pizza.
Ready?
Pizza.
Now we're going to say it again, and I'm going to write down the letters. Ready? Pizza. Now, to remember what word is going to come next, I have to reread my sentence. Watch me. I love pizza.
In my tummy.
The next word is in. Can I write the word in over here?
In my tummy.
Why not?
No room.
There's no room. So I have to come down over here, and I'm going to write that word in quickly. Watch me. In space. I'm going to reread it to remember what comes next. Let's read it together. I love pizza in my. You know how to write that word, my. Write it quickly on your boards. Jack, can you come up and I want you to write the word my on the board. Come on up. You wrote the word my, Layla. Can you get out?
Oh no. Yeah, I got it.
Write it again, Layla, in the middle of your board.
The race.
Remember, we need our space. You're going to write the word my right here. Move it over.
Okay, my
Down,
race.
up
I
over.
fell.
Okay, go ahead. Here, take this one.
I made a big.
Good. All right, I love pizza in my.
Tommy.
Oh, you remembered that last word? Okay, erase the word my.
Pizza. I got Mr. Racer. Goodbye. That's Racer. That's Mr.
Good.
Racer.
Erase your board.
No, this is Mr. Racer. Thank you.
All right, Jack's ready. Let's see if Diego's ready. Layla, erase your board for me. Jack, eyes up here. We're going to finish up. Put your sock down. Thank you, buddy. Ready? I need to remember my next word, so my job is to go back and reread my sentence. I think we can read it together. I love pizza in my tummy. Watch me say the word slowly as I read it. What do you hear at the beginning of tummy? I hear that at more at the end of the word. What do you hear at the beginning of tummy? Find the word on your alphabet chart that starts like tummy. I'm going to write that word tummy really quickly. Ready? Watch me. Let's say that word tummy slowly. And I'm going to write it. Diego, marker down. And I'm going to put, my sentence is done, so what do I need to do?
Period.
I could put a period, or I think I'm going to put an exclamation mark to show that I really love it. So I'm going to put that in there.
Apple. There.
Ready? Eyes up here. We need our caps on our mark. Okay, ready? You know what, Malik, can you help me? I need your help. Can you come up and point to the words as we read our sentence? Malik's going to come up and help us. Okay, ready? You can use the marker to point. I'll point on top, you point underneath. Ready? I point underneath. I love pizza in my tummy. I didn't hear everyone, and some of us still have our erasers. I'm going to take those. Can I have the erasers?
Yes. You take those, Mr.
I love pizza in my tummy. Nice job, boys and girls. All right, I want someone to come up and show me a word that they know. Layla, can you come up and find a word that you know? Can you get out? I know these chairs are a little tricky for us.
And we can bounce.
You're not going to get to watch the video. Okay? You know that word? What is that? Oh, you want to read the sentence?
I love pizza in my tummy.
Good. Can you find that word my for me? There it is. And what's the first letter in my? It is the first letter. Go ahead and sit down. Ready? I'm going to have one more friend come up today. And I want someone that's sitting quietly. You know what? I'm going to have Diego. You come up. I want you to find a word that has 4 letters in it. Find a word that has 4 letters in it.
1, 2, 3, 4.
You found the word. This word is love. What word is it?
Erase marker.
What word is this?
Love.
Can you point to the first letter in love?
L.
Good. All right, go ahead and you can take a seat. Again.
Good morning,
Good morning, Miss Richardson. Do you have gum in your mouth? You know what? Let's spit that out. There we go. Thank you. All right. Remember, let's go over our rules before we get started. Remember, our 2 rules, we only have 2, is that our eyes are looking, and our body still. Jack is doing such a nice job of showing me that his body is still and his eyes are looking. So is Diego. Yesterday, I know that Miss Stummy read this poem to you, and we are going to be doing the same poem together here. Ready? We're going to start with the title. This is a word you know. I love chocolate. I love chocolate. Yum, yum, yum. I love chocolate in my tum. Let's do it together again, and I want everyone. You did. I want everyone to help me as I read it one more time. Ready? Eyes up here. Eyes looking. Nice job, Diego. Ready? I love chocolate. I love chocolate. Yum, yum, yum. I love chocolate in my tum. What is a tum?
Tummy.
Yeah, it's short for tummy.
Your stomach.
Now, what does the little boy in this poem tell us that he loves?
Chocolate.
Yeah,
I
he does.
love chocolate.
He does love chocolate. So do
I love chocolate. Actually, I like
You
sweet.
don't like chocolate?
I like
All right.
sweet.
Listen, I am going to read part of the poem. I want you to find a word that starts like leaf on your alphabet chart. Find that word leaf. Everyone's pointing to it. Layla's pointing to it. Okay, ready? I'm going to read this first part. I love chocolate. What word starts like leaf in I love chocolate? Ooh, Layla's thinking for the ooh. Let's look up here. What word starts like leaf when we say it? I love chocolate. Watch me. When I sing I love chocolate, I hear love. Love. Can everyone say love?
Love.
Everybody say leaf.
Leaf.
Leaf. Everybody say leaf.
Leaf.
Diego, I'm waiting for you to say leaf.
Leaf.
All right, let's try it again. Everyone say love.
Love.
Everybody say leaf.
Leaf.
What is the same in both of those words?
They have L.
They start with L. You are so right. All right, let's get ready to do our ABC chart. Get your finger up underneath of that apple. Oh, good. Apple, apple, bear, bear,
Cat.
yo, yo, yeah, yeah, yeah. Zipper, zipper, it's just to the side right there. That's fine. And we are going to be getting our magnet boards. Remember, when we get our magnet boards and our erasers, or our markers, we're not going to be getting those yet.
Socks.
But and your socks, you're going to get those in a minute. But first, I'm going to be giving you a bag with some letters in it. Watch me. What you're going to do is you're going to take the letters out of your bag. You're going to put them on the top of your board. And then you're going to put your bag behind it. Okay? Are you ready? Okay. There you go, at the top of your board.
Get them out.
I'll help you, Diego.
Actually, I did.
Good.
I know.
Layla did a nice job of following the directions. Let's see if Jack can do it. She put them at the top of her board. Let's turn them around so that we can just... Now, I want you to watch me. I'm going to pull it down letter by letter. M, Y, and then I'm going to push it up letter by letter. M, Y. Okay? You do that on your board.
M-Y.
Good. Push it up letter by letter.
M-Y. M-Y.
Good. All right. Now what we're going to do is I am going to make a word on the board, on my board that you know. You know this word. My.
My.
Can you make that with your letters in the middle of your board? Bring it down to the middle of your board. M, Y. You made the word my. What word did you make?
My.
My. Jack, what word did you make?
Y.
Put your finger under that first letter.
My.
My. What word did you make, Diego? Check your model.
My.
Good. Does it look like that?
Yep.
Nice job fixing yourself. All right, Malik. Does that look right? Okay, watch. Now we're going to run our finger underneath of it and check it. Watch me. I'm going to put that dry erase marker underneath of yours. Watch this. And I'm going to erase it, remember? And I'm going to do a slow check. My.
You erase
Ready?
Your
Your M goes first. Check that.
You
Does the M
erase
go
your-
first?
you erase your
I know I did. I erased my Y. Check it. Was I right? Okay, is the M first? Okay, you're going to do that with yours. Okay, run your finger underneath of it. Check it. My. Good. All right, Jack, you ready? You're going to slow check your word. Okay, go for it.
My.
Good. All right, you're going to slow check your word, my. Ready? Check it.
Just a minute. Oops.
That's okay. You can still do it.
My.
Good. You know what? And make sure, Diego, do it again. I want you to stop right underneath of that Y. So watch me. My. You do it. My. Nice slow check. All right.
Here you go.
Ready? Watch me. Let's watch Malik do it. Okay, erase it, starting with that first letter. Start over here. My. Would you like to do it again by yourself? Okay. All right. Now I want you to take your letters and I want you to mix it up, and then I want you to fix it, making that word my again.
I mixed it up.
Okay, now make that word my. Make it look like this one. Jack did it. Layla, make sure you have it in the right order. Order matters.
I did it.
Does it look right? Malik's looks right. Let's look at Diego's. Let's see what should be first. Nice job fixing it. Okay, mix it again real fast.
I fixed it first.
You fixed it? Good.
I
Let's see.
fixed it.
Let's see, Layla, did you fix it?
I fixed it.
Okay, what word did you make? This is the word my. What word did you make?
My.
What word did you make, Jack?
My.
Good. What word did you make, Diego?
My.
And what word did you make, Malik? Good. All right. I want you to take your magnet letters and put them back in your bag.
Oh, yeah. You grab that. Can you
Okay.
write my?
We are going to write that word my, but first I'm going to show you how to write it, because the Y is going to be a little tricky for some of us. Jack, can I have the Y?
It's not gonna be tricky for me.
It's not? All right, ready? Watch. I'm going to write the word my on my board. Thanks, Layla, for your help. Eyes up here, so you can make sure that you see how to make that word my. Diego, eyes up here. Ready? Watch me. I'm going to do my M. Pull down, up, over, up, over. Ready? And then, that is the M. And then I'm going to do the Y. And Layla, you're lucky. You have the Y in your name. Watch me. It's going to be slant down, slant down. Ready? Everyone's going to get their markers.
I can go slant. You wait, wait.
Remember to put your cap, stick it tightly on the back. Make sure it's in there. And you're going to do the word my. I like how Jack started with his pull down, up, over, slant down, slant back. Good job. Slant down, slant back.
I did it.
Good. All right, erase your boards and do it
That's
again.
not how you do it, Layla.
That's how she does it. You do it differently than she does.
Yes, I did. Mom.
Erase it quickly. Let's see if we can do it again. Let's get that word my written down. What word are we writing?
My.
My. Ready? Start up at the top. Here, let's do it
I
together.
didn't erase mine.
Okay, hurry up, Diego. Start up at the top. Look over here. Layla,
Alrighty.
look at your board. Pull down, up, over, up, over. Now you can do your Y.
I'm done.
Good.
Look at me.
Look at you, how many you wrote. I wrote the word my. What word did I write?
My.
Okay, caps back on your markers. Don't erase it yet. Now we're going to slow check it.
Where's my cover?
Your cap? I got it. All right.
I put a line for slow
Watch me.
checking.
You did put your line for a slow check. You don't need a line though. Watch me. I'm going to do it without my line. My. You slow check one of your my's. Just check one of them. You have a lot on there, Jack. Good. You stopped at the end of your word. Nice job. Okay. Ready? Erase your boards.
Erase fast. I went. Erase faster than you. No, erase faster than you.
Oh, there's not a race. Can I have your marker?
No, we're not doing a race.
Can I have your marker, Jack? Marker, Jack?
Where's my
Erase
my
boards?
sock? My stinky sock.
They're actually clean. Can I have the 2 whiteboards that are down there?
They're
Your whiteboards?
And the work charts. Oh, hey, Pamela.
Okay, remember we're not doing that. Okay, now we are going to write the word my in our dictionary because that's a word. Let's see, whose dictionary am I going to be using today? This is Malik's. Now, my. What letter does a my start with? M is the first letter in my. Let's open up and see. Does my come at the beginning of the alphabet?
No.
No, I don't see M there. Is it in the middle of the alphabet?
Yes.
Is it at the end of the alphabet?
No.
No. M is in the middle of the alphabet. You can see that I've written the word my there. You're going to take your dry erase or the highlighter and you're going to trace over it. And you're going to write my. Start up at the top, pull down, up, over, slant in, slant back. What word are you writing in your my? Good. What word are you writing, Diego?
My.
Yeah. Can you sit up for me, buddy? Layla, what word are you writing?
My.
Good. And Jack, what word are you writing?
My.
Good. Nice job. Malik is doing such a nice job of taking his time to write the word my. Pull down, up, over. And slant, slant. Good. Cap back on your marker. Cap back on your marker once you're done.
It's called a highlighter.
Oh, you know what? We're not coloring in the moon. You're tracing over my. Okay. Do you see the word my? Good. Can you do that? Pull down, up, over.
Look it.
Diego did it. Layla did it. Nice job. Close up
Nobody did it.
Close up your dictionaries.
Yes, everybody did it.
Okay. Thank you.
Pay you for the nose job.
Okay.
Two people.
All right. Eyes are looking. Nice job. Before we head off today, I want someone to come up and I see a word, a new word that you now know in our poem that's on our last line. Can someone, Layla, can you come up for me and find that word my in that last, yep. And now we're going to put this highlighter tape on that first letter in my. Can you show me, point to the first letter in my. What's the first letter? What's the, point to just the first letter. The first letter is M. Good. What's that letter?
M.
Good. Watch me. I'm just going to put a little highlighter tape on that letter M. It's the first letter. Okay. Ready? All right. Jack, come on up. What?
Everybody can come up. Yeah.
Oh, do you think I should put it on that?
I see
Because we
is,
had,
I see
you
is.
do? Oh, where do you see is?
I see none. Can't see it.
Okay. All right. I want you to find a word on this line that has 4 letters in it. Did you find it? This word is love. What word is it?
Love.
Good. Can you point to the first letter in love? It starts like
L.
leaf. It is. Can you put this tape on that first letter?
It's L.
Okay. All right. Diego, coming up.
I can get out special ways.
No, I want you to push the chair back so you can get up. Can you do that or do you need help?
I can do.
Okay, come on over.
You know what?
Come on over.
Stop it, Layla. You know what?
Remember, we need our eyes looking and our bodies still. I saw it. You're okay. All right, look at this last line. I want you to find a word that has 3 letters in it. Find it.
1, 2, 3.
This word is tum. Can you say tum?
Tum.
Can you point to the first letter in tum? What's the first letter?
T.
Good. And T makes the T sound like in turtle on our alphabet chart, right? Okay, Malik, you're my last friend who's going to come up.
Or
Malik, can you come up for me?
or
You can come this way.
Or toad.
Or toad, you're right, toad and turtle and tum. I'll start with the sun. Over this way, Malik. Come this way. Come. Oh, you're going that way. Yes.
One day I want to use those chairs
You want to use what chairs? Oh, those swivelly chairs?
so we can go really high.
I want you on this line.
Not too high.
Can you find the period? Everyone, eyes are looking at Malik.
Just
Malik, we have to wait. Diego, you know what? Don't worry about pulling it in.
I just want to
Diego.
Low. I don't want to feel period of
Can you find, thank you for your bodies being still. Layla, we're almost done, so don't worry about pulling in your chair. Just make sure your eyes are looking. Can you find the period on this line? The period is the little dot. Can you point to it and then we can put the tape on it? Or do you want to put the tape on it? That's actually called a comma. That's a little bit different than the period, which is a dot. Can you find the period? It's at the end of the sentence. I see it right there. Do you see it right there? Yep, there you go. Put it on top. The period is at the end of the sentence to tell us that our sentence, I love chocolate, yum, 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 is all done, done, done. All right.
So any questions for Sam or myself?
You were saying you're at Washington, Sam. I'm just wondering, I go into 4 kindergarten rooms to do this. Does the team there work on, do they all use the same ABC chart or use some of these poems? Because I'm thinking how much time it would save. 20 minutes is short.
Right.
If the teacher did introduce some of the text first and I would be doing it as a reading course.
Yes, and in an ideal world, I would agree with you that they're all using the same poems, the same ABC chart, which is actually a conversation that we've been having, is that we're not all using the same alphabet charts. I know in English, and I definitely know in Spanish, that we all have different ones that teachers are using. So that's probably a conversation that we need to have at the Demetra level in terms of moving forward that way, because I think it's important, and especially for our most struggling kids, that they hear this consistent message and they're seeing the consistent alphabet chart, for example. So no, I'm going to say no.
It started at the school level and
Exactly, yeah. Right, especially as the reading specialist there, that might be something that you want to work on as a team. And then poems, no, we're just getting this started. So I know that Tracy and I are working in Sarah's room and we are being as consistent as possible. So we're using the same poems, which is great. I mean, if you can get the teacher, and it's a simple poem, it's something that takes 2 minutes to do, and she's very open and it's very easy to do. So some teachers aren't as open, so you just kind of have to go with how that team works or how that classroom teacher is going to accept you.
I'm using the phone from the orange, the level.
Oh yeah, actually, this one. So there's this is from the orange level for the FMP, and it's actually a lot of the same poems that I printed out for you in your handout. But if you want to make a copy of these poems, there are some simpler ones. It's apples, I love chocolate, which is what we did, rain on the rooftop. So a lot of the same poems that I included in that packet are these poems. So I'll leave that up here if anybody wants to make a copy of those. You're welcome to, or you probably already have it at your site. Yeah.
For those real strugglers too, I found that there's a lot of power in their classmates' names for making sounds of correspondence or clapping syllables. A lot of times they know many of them, and so it's a real effective association to make.
Yeah, and they do, with the names of children and their other peers in their classrooms. That's a great connection as well. What you didn't see me do in the days prior, on day 1 and day 2, I had them slow check their name. So each of them had their own name with magnetic letters, and we worked on pushing it up letter by letter, pulling it down letter by letter, and I actually have a video example of Layla doing it, pushing it up letter by letter, and then when she went to pull it down letter by letter, she started with her L, her A, and then she went all the way to the end to pull down the A. So it was a very clear visual for me that she doesn't understand the concept of going through letter by letter. And if they do that, I quickly jump in, stop them, and say, order matters, and get them to go back through it. So again, connecting with names that way at the beginning of the lesson as you're building your relationship with them. Yeah, Laura?
Not a question, just a comment, but one of the many things I learned today. When the kids went to the ABC chart on the file folder, I would have the kids write the word "my," but I like your idea better because, the way
You want to be able to, you want to be able to.
So I think having them traced it with the highlighter, I love that idea because I would just have them go at it.
Right.
You're focusing more on letter formation and seeing a good example of word "my."
Right, especially since they're going to go back and use that in another setting.
You want to be able to read it again.
Right, and the other thing that I forgot to mention was a lot of times they have ABC charts that they're to use during writing in their classroom, and they're searching through A, B, C, D, E, F, and you want them to do the F, and now they're at G, H, and they've forgotten what letter they're even looking for. So what I was also trying to help them do was understand what does it mean to be at the beginning, what does it mean to be in the middle, what does it mean to be at the end. So that was just something else that I was focusing on.
Could you pass around the folder that you...
Yeah, I can pass them around. Well, actually, if you want to come and look at them, I'll just have everything up here with the poetry book. Eileen has the intervention that I saw her. She has the book. If you guys want to take a peek at that, I'm sure she would be willing to allow you to look at it. So if there are any other questions right now, we'll be walking around and happy to answer any questions. But at this time, we're going to allow you to plan your next assisted writing lesson or talk with peers at your tables about what they do.